If you believe we built the pyramids, you're retarded. I don't know what to tell you. All right? This is my litmus test for people. If you can see the magic in the world, you understand that there's something going on with the pyramids that we don't know how to do. Casper, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You get out of here. You get out of here right now, mister. All right? You won't believe in abortion until you have children. Okay? That's just the truth. I will state this as a fact.
How dare you?
Armed Planned Parenthood, 18 months is not enough. 18 years is the official date of abortion, all right? We need a militia. Planned Parenthood needs to hunt these children down and put them in their place, okay? It's too much. It's too much. Come here, sweetheart. I'm just kidding. I just watched my children alone, for days on end while my wonderful wife gallivanted at a conference about dance. Like, is that work or fun? I don't know. But now I'm taking a day off, and I'm going to try to do a podcast every day because Daddy's lonely. I got a rant, and this poor woman has heard my rants for... Anna, how long have we been married now? 10 years? Almost 10 years, this poor woman. I owe her a couple homes, okay? This lady has gone through way too much in support of me and my vision, my dream, my potential. And here I am ranting to 2 followers on Spotify. Hey, to the 2 feds following me on Spotify, welcome. You both better be American, because if the Russian and the Iranians are listening again, I'm going to be pissed. I can't do jokes in Farsi, okay? I'm sorry. I don't know it that well. Back to the pyramids. 2.5 million stones. Here's the thing. There is a video online that shows, like, oh, he gets his information from YouTube. Yeah, I get it from anywhere. The truth is not channel dependent. You understand? Insights can come from anywhere, and so I am open to all channels of information. I distill, I summarize, I filter, most importantly, if something seems even interesting, remotely interesting, not applicable even, just novel or unique, I'll play with the idea. Because a lot of times you'll get an insight from here about this, and it'll teach you something about the world that you can then apply to this. And that's why I'm such an advanced and intelligent being, okay? That's why I am so zen, okay? Because you understand, my neural brain waves are, you can't see this on Spotify, but in sync. Bye. And it shows clear as day that whomever Shakespeare was wrote into one of his sonnets a secret code that you can then break down on your own with basic geometry, and you can Google like the pyramid code or Google Shakespeare pyramid code, something like that, and you'll see like it's a hidden sonnet or something. And some intrepid schizophrenic figured out like, hey, this period doesn't make sense. Why is that here? And these lines actually don't make sense. And as soon as I draw a circle and connect these 2 things, all of a sudden I get these angles and these ratios. And in that one page, and those angles and ratios on that one page, which you can do your own, recreate on your own, spill out the like craziest information, things about the pyramids that were not known, the height, the length, the angle, the location, the friggin' longitude and latitude down to like multiple decimal places, phi, pi, several mathematical constants that were not discovered until after this thing was published, which happened to be encoded into the dimensions of the pyramid. The pyramid is in the center of mass of the planet. What? How could you know that if you didn't have spaceships, satellites, advanced naval society? I don't know how you could do that from, without going into outer space. It had, in its arrangement of heights and angles, the pyramid, and via this Shakespearean, mystery page, has mathematical constants that shouldn't exist. And you think about, you get into the mechanics of how these things were built, and like nobody can rebuild this thing today. There's this guy on YouTube, I think he's Iranian. It's so annoying. It's like, terrorism isn't enough. I gotta deal with this guy now running around saying, it's just ramps. It's just ramps, bro. And these people that think that like humans with a couple basic tools built the pyramids, they rob themselves of all this magic that exists right in front of their eyes, but they refuse to see it. They see themselves as someone who doesn't fall for these tricks. Meanwhile, once in a while, one of these tricks or conspiracy theories turn out to be true and open up doors of understanding that, guess what? The people, some of the most famous, Newton, Shakespeare, others were trained on. And this is a fact of life. There are occult mystery schools that have existed since before written history that have passed down information. That's how whomever Shakespeare was could know things about the pyramids that were yet to be discovered by the wider world. That knowledge was passed down in an occult fashion, a hidden way. And that is ultimately, I believe, the reason that Europe conquered America. The Native Americans did not have occult knowledge. They didn't understand how to discover hidden truths about the world in a way that benefited them. Unlike the Europeans, which discovered iron and brought gunpowder from Asia and so on and so forth. And it's this layer of reality, the occult, the hidden mystery schools, that you either believe in or you don't. And guess what? Everything official in the world tells you it's fake and that you shouldn't believe in it. Meanwhile, the guy that asked John Kerry about Skull and Bones got tasered to shut up. Like, we know that in Ivy League schools, the students of which end up running every institution, whether it's Viacom or the UN, these people come from Ivy League schools. If you go to an Ivy League school, you see that there are, like the insiders, the wealthy, the legacy students. They have their own clubhouses. They don't fraternize with the normal populace of the school. You don't see them. You don't hear them. They hang out in these decadent mansions where everything is catered to them, and mysterious rites of passage occur. And they get shuffled from that, where they learn how the world really works, to their position in the world. And they are in connection with all the other people in their fraternities. While our fraternities and sororities are jokes where people have to make TikTok videos to recruit, theirs are about deep history and bloodlines that are thousands of years old and don't care about what's going on. It's like, it's a whole nother world. And I think this is like the next big understanding of the world. Like, we've understand that UFOs are real, right? The government, I think, who was it? The little guy from Florida, Marco Rubio, just came out and said the American government has recovered crashed vehicles, from extraterrestrial origin. Like, dude, what are we doing in startup land? This is how you know startups are kind of a joke. Where's the VC funding UFO technology? What is going on? The government says they exist. They showed us videos of things doing maneuvers that normal physics cannot provide. There's a whistleblower that came out showing some sort of orbs disappearing that Malaysian flight over the ocean. It's like, what is happening? I don't know. I have no idea how this stuff actually works, but it's obviously true that there is multiple extraterrestrial intelligences prevalent all across the planet, utilizing some form of space travel that is beyond our current capabilities. Like, what? And a lot of people say, like, oh, Elon Musk must be a, insider, da-da-da-da-da. Listen, the guy is engineering rockets that blow up and move, therefore, because of those explosions. He's no threat to the world order. He hasn't figured out faster than light travel. He doesn't have a wormhole technology. Like, if his technologies were very, his cars are electric. God bless him. Very beautiful cars. Love the engineering and manufacturing capabilities. But they're not hover cars. They're not anti-gravity cars. They're not producing their own electricity. They're not breaking the fundamental control systems that the planet runs on. That we don't deserve yet, to be honest with you. You look at the people on this planet and they're like, we can't imagine a world where we're not like beaten to death for a paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, we got a long ways to go before we can handle the responsibility of these next level technologies, which I believe vaguely, I don't know what in detail what it is, but I believe it's requires a spiritual evolution to understand. You know what I mean? Like, we're asking the wrong questions as a species. We're conducting the wrong experiments. We're building the wrong machines. We're engineering the wrong solutions. You know what I mean? And the powers that be are happy for us to waste our lives determining what, solar panels are best, when there's technologies that can probably produce energy from the air itself or whatever. I don't know, right? We're not even able to ask the right questions without ridicule. This is how you know there's a vast conspiracy afoot. The important questions get you fired. Think about that. Any question you are allowed to ask is safe. And you saw this during COVID. You weren't allowed to ask about, at first, the origin of the virus, the, mode of transmission, the total fatality rate, da-da-da-da-da. Those were questions you're not allowed to ask. And that's how you know there's a conspiracy afoot. I mean, for God's sake, Trump just got shot at again by this psychopathic liberal that was so fervent about the Ukraine war that he went out and, I don't know, they're claiming crazy things about him and recruiting the Taliban or, I don't know. I don't know what's true. I don't really know what's going on. But you're starting to see the edges bleed over, and you're starting to pierce through the veil of reality, which is far more complex than we know, than I would ever suggest that I understand. I have a couple ideas. I have a lot of theories, but most importantly, I'm just trying to build my startup, which I don't think I could have built until now. It is, can actually help people. Like, if you want to actually help people, you're gonna get Pfizer. You know what I mean? And you know what that means. And I think the truth of the matter is that we're entering some new era. I really do believe that. 51% of me believes that we're in the good timeline. Okay? I don't believe in most of my ideas 100%. There's very few of my ideas that I believe in 100%. The one that readily comes to mind, I believe in 100%, is the existence of God, a loving God, and the fact that he came to this dimension, let's say, as the person we call Jesus Christ. It came here. I don't know what I'm only a human. I can only use our language. I believe in love, and I believe in the existence of evil. That's another thing, man. A lot of these people, they don't even believe in evil. Like, a lot of people can't even say God. They say the universe. Like, dude, everything you're calling the universe is just God. And the reason you don't want to say that is because God implies a moral judgment, and you don't want to be judged for what you're doing. And so you will talk to a indifferent universe as opposed to a intelligent creator that objectively understands good versus evil. And then you might say, why does God exist? Or why does God allow evil to exist? Why do you allow evil to exist, man? God allows evil to exist so that there's all options on the table, so that we have complete free will. We can do whatever we want. Truly, you can do whatever you want. You can become whomever you want to be as a person, right? Loving, caring, hating, it's vindictive, etc. It's your lives, I believe. I'm a Christian mystic, and I 100% believe in reincarnation. I don't know the details. I don't know beyond that what it means, but I don't believe you have one lifetime to figure out how to be a good human being. Get the hell out of here. Are you kidding me? It takes a whole lifetime just to become slightly more courageous. You know what I mean? It's like, let alone, like, you work your whole life to open up your heart to love, and you barely get any progress. Meanwhile, you haven't, neglecting things like maybe courage or conviction or endurance. There's like so many other things. If we are avatars and we have these skill sets, you spend your whole life working on one, just to move the needle noticeably on one. I think life is far too complicated to make progress in one lifetime. It doesn't make any sense. And like, billions of people believe in reincarnation. Okay, all the Hindus believe in reincarnation. Like, I think a lot of Zen people, there's like a lot of belief in reincarnation. The Buddhists, I'm not crazy to believe that. And you might be saying, well, but you're Christian. Yeah, man, obviously we live in a fallen world. That's another belief I have 100%. And if you are the devil, you're going to corrupt the teachings of God. Every time it comes down, you're going to corrupt it. And then wherever it sticks, you're going to infiltrate and shroud in hate and mystery. That's why the Catholic Church is shrouded in controversy, because there's a truth in there that somebody wants corrupted, blocked, hidden, right? If your goal was to destroy humanity or just to be evil, that's exactly what you would do. And so if you don't believe in evil, you can't see it. You don't see it. How can you see something you refuse to believe in? Right? It's impossible. It's very hard. And many people, when they see an act of evil, they'll chalk it up to ignorance, or never ascribe to evil what can be ascribed to malice. No, never ascribe to malice what can be ascribed to incompetence. Why not? Evil is just as simple of an explanation as incompetence. Like, why shouldn't I ascribe something to evil? If you're incompetent only in the direction which causes bad things to happen, that's evil. Maybe it's on a spectrum and you're like way on one end and it gets way worse over there, but you know what I mean? You need to open yourself up to these bigger ideas, because like one of the things I tell people is like, first off, like, what is your suffering to an intergalactic super intelligence? What is your suffering to AGI, let alone God, right? It's nothing. And if what is your death to a God other than a homecoming? Almost a reason to celebrate. You're coming back home, right? It's like the existence of evil and the existence of death is not a good enough excuse to destroy the belief in God. It is completely irrelevant to a higher being, right? Especially if reincarnation exists. It's like, and they might be saying, well, if reincarnation exists and God is indifferent to our suffering, then nothing matters. Well, here's the rub, dude. You know it matters because when you do something wrong, you feel it in your soul that you did something wrong, and it eats away at you. You feel worse. Things that make you feel good for every day thereafter you do it are good for you. Things that make you feel bad. Excuse me. Things that make you feel better are good for you. Things that make you feel worse from the moment you do it until the moment you die are bad for you. You have a compass built in. It's your heart. You know what feels good and what feels wrong. Conversation with someone that hates you does not feel good. A conversation with someone that loves you feels good. A conversation with someone that loves you unequivocally, right? Like completely, without needing the love to be returned, feels amazing. You feel it because you have an electromagnetic field. You have an aura. You can feel what's around you. There's a reason you're numbed out constantly. You think our society just happened to become perfectly situated in every line of every, direction to thwart and destroy the human spirit? You think this is all just a happy coincidence that everything destroys human capacity for creation and love? All the drugs, all the education system that makes you ask for permission to go to the bathroom, the fentanyl being funneled into the country, the prisons that don't help you recover, the violence, the legal system that doesn't care about you, the financial system that doesn't care about you, that puts you into debt slavery as soon as you... Like, come on, dude. These things are... You can say one of them is an accident. You can't say everything's an accident. And so we live in a fallen world. We've inherited a fallen world. I think that era is over officially. The mystics would say the Kali Yuga has ended or is ending. I think they say December. It's like the next major cycle. And so, as an entrepreneur, as a Christian, as a father, I think it's up to us to upgrade every system on earth. I think we're in the good timeline. I think Trump not getting assassinated is the last... That was the thing that really convinced me to okay, dude, you couldn't time the bullet missing him. You couldn't time it. The bullet had to be in the air when he decided to move his head. It's impossible to time that. And if he messed up, if the humidity dropped, right? I don't know how sniping works, but it's very sensitive, and you just had to miss by an inch and it would have blown off the side of his brain, dude. That was God's touch. That's crazy. To what end? I do not know. But it was clear that was a miracle. And it wasn't the way it was supposed to go because the media moved on. There's no investigation. There's no... nothing. It's the guy that's most likely to win the presidency almost had his head blown off. And nobody in the media cares. That's because these people have kind of sold their souls, man. How you make your money, I truly believe... Another thing I believe in... I wouldn't say 100%, but a lot is that, historically, you had to sell your soul to make a lot of money. The money supply was captured by Satan, and you could not just print this fake money that wars are fought to protect, that blood has been spilled to protect the money supply, without doing something dirty. You know what I mean? I'm reading Banana Wars right now, about how in the 60s, 70s, I don't know the date yet, there was a rebellion, a general strike, I think in Mexico, or the South America. I don't actually know yet, to be honest. Around, in places where in banana republics, basically. And they talk about how the violence and everything, but kind of the reasoning behind it, or what led to it. And how people worked 12 hours a day, got paid shit, slept in the rain, just got pesticides all over them constantly, hard work. And it makes your heart hurt to think about the history of humanity and how much suffering has been induced. There's no need to be this cruel to people. Like for money, of all things. A fake thing that you put in your bank account. You don't even use all of it. You use a little bit of it to pay for your lifestyle. The rest is in the bank or tied up in assets. It's really crazy. And I'm convinced we're entering a new era of society where we're going to have far increased access to the monetary supply. That's the number one thing. You know, you might be thinking, oh, well, if these workers wanted to start their own plantations, then why don't they? How are they going to get the capital, dude? What assets, what collateral do they have to secure the capital required to buy the land and equipment? Well, they should start small. Do you know how cutthroat these people were? They just killed you and took your land. The competitors did not care about the law. They paid off the judges in the courts. Like, you didn't have a path to financial freedom. Even today, man, the way in which you earn your money is so important in determining your quality of life. The people don't need to be millionaires. They just need to not be abused at work. You know, a company that fired me, a Christian company, okay? I worked my ass off to get into tech. I finally got a growth marketing position at a really hot startup, big startup called Citizen. It's like a personal safety app. And crushed it there. And it was just mismanaged. I couldn't play politics to that degree. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was naive. I thought my performance mattered more than my reputation. My results mattered more than my reputation. Turns out your reputation matters far more than your results. That's a little evil in and of itself. But what have you. After I got laid off there, I had this thing. I was hot off the press, man. I had these results that were insane. I had multiple great references, you know? And I let the ball slip. And instead of hunting for my next position and really positioning myself to, you know, advance my career, because your career needs to follow this arc. And you need to show constant, you know, progression. And if you stop progressing, you're basically stuck in that place for life. And if it's a good enough place, so be it. And if you're not terribly ambitious, so be it. That's fine. If you make enough money, you know, I get it. But I got an email from a recruiter at this Christian app, gaming app, called TruePlay. And they wanted to do something like become the, you know, they call themselves the Netflix of Christian content. I was like, you're more like Nintendo, because you're making games, and I just came off growing this mobile app at Citizen, and so they hired me, and they not only made me take a pay cut, my total comp at Citizen was 180, these guys made me take a 135, but, no, 145, but 35 was a bonus, contingent on personal performance. And I was like, I got it, no problem. Well, it turns out you can't get a loan with your bonus. You know what I mean? Like, your income it's much easier to get a loan based off your income. And we needed a second car, and the interest rates were starting to skyrocket, and I couldn't afford a second car. And so I had one car, and I was driving everybody in the morning to school and daycare and my wife's work. And I'll pick them up in the evening. But my kids had to get picked up at 2:30. And so from 2:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon, I was in the car. Everything else was done before 9 o'clock. And my manager would catch me in the car during meetings, because I would take meetings. I'm like, I just came from the startup. Nobody cares if you're in the car for, you know, work at night. You're remote. Who cares? Work after hours. It doesn't matter. Get your work done. And I was like fucking doing miracles for this business. It was insane. And my manager said, this needs to change. This is absolutely my review. He's like, you're doing great. Look at these results. But this one thing needs to change. You cannot be in the car ever again. I'm like, well, dude, I can't afford to not be in the car. I got to go pick up my daughter from Catholic school, you fucking Christians. And I said to him and the CFO who's on the review, I'm like, can I get, my bonus says it's based on individual contribution, and I'm crushing my goals. Can you just make my bonus part of my total salary so I can use it to get a car loan? And that got me fired with no cause for performance issues within a week, no severance, nothing. And it totally destroyed my marketing career, because now I worked there for like 9 months or 6 months or something. And it was completely, I had this like beautiful boom, ba-boom, 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 citizen, whoa. And then I go work at this stupid fucking Christian company, which is going bankrupt now because the CEO won't listen to his people and is greedy and is trying to charge $13 a month for a fucking mobile app full of games. And we tried convincing them, and it turns out he was using he claimed that everyone's bonus was reliant on team performance. As it's stated they held a meeting, they didn't invite anybody, they recorded it, they sent it out. They said one employee even thought that his bonus was based on personal performance, and that's just not true. I'm like, dude, it says it right on my contract. What are you saying? And I got fired days later, and it totally ruined my marketing career. It was, I thought I recovered, and then the next job I got was even worse, and I gave up on marketing. And here I am. I started this company that's pushing a product called Broccoli Pro, which is probably going to be the most important supplement on the planet. It is. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the most important supplement on the planet. And I was working on the equipment to phyto-manufacture this, but on nights and weekends. And I let it slip because I was working like a madman for a Christian cause, I thought. And the stress that causes to not be able to control your own income, to have to work for a corrupt man that hides behind the shroud of Turin, right? All I wanted to do was do my work, make my money, and live happily ever after, but I couldn't do it. And so I think the whole world would have a massive upgrade in productivity, creativity, ingenuity, and happiness if they could just do their job without being treated like shit. Is that too much to ask for? Why do I need to be treated like shit to make money? It's like the more money you want to make at a company, the worse you get treated. Why can't we just work, do our jobs, and be treated? We don't even need to be treated well. Just treat us indifferently. But no, you get actually treated like shit. I think that's changing. I want to change that. So I'm going to teach people how to start businesses. I'm going to start my own venture fund one day. I'm going to sell this company and use the money to start a venture fund and teach people. And if you want to support me, follow this podcast. I really appreciate it. I guess you should go to pointbotanicals.com if you want the ultimate anti-aging supplement. Thanks, y'all. Bye. See you tomorrow.